and Twitter, but the best way now is Reels on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, so that's my go-to. So before I kind of show you guys what I do and get more into it and the do's and don'ts of social media, I figured I would talk a little bit about myself. So I own Ginger Roots Media, where I manage social media for over 14 different businesses throughout the time that I've done it. So I've done a wellness center, I've done a foundation, I've done a wheel company, lots of different things, a charcuterie company, a lot of fun different things. So I handle their content creation, track analytics, and by this I a Bachelor of Arts degree. It was in broadcast journalism and electronic media. And during my time there, I always credit the University of Scranton, how awesome they were with their internships. They really helped me even during peak COVID time. I had my internships and I was able to do them remotely. So I took Scranton Times Tribune first, and I was gonna do sports journalism. Didn't work out, sports was canceled during COVID, so I ended up writing a lot about lifestyles. And there I got to, figure out if I wanted to do journalism. Didn't love journalism, so I decided to try out social media. I decided to take over alloy wheel repair specialist of Dimick. They have locations in Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. Their accounts and started to grow it, and I loved it. And then I continued with them even after my internship was over and went to Thunder 102, which is out of Bethel, New York, where Bethel Woods Center for the Arts is. So I got to do a lot of country concerts up there, which was really fun. And that's with Gold Media Group, which is actually out of Pennsylvania. So they do have a lot of awesome internships. During my time there, I was on air. So I got to, interview people that were in the country music industry. And then I also took over their social media because I noticed that their Instagram and Facebook was not being used. And I basically forced them to let me take it over. So unfortunately, I didn't realize it's not going to have some audio, but I decided to put some fun videos in so you kind of get the gist of it. So this first one I do, Elmhurst Country Club. It's a golf course up in Moscow area, well, Elmhurst area, Moscow. So they just introduced their new Stag Bar. It just got completely renovated, so I did this little video. So the third one is the same company. I'll actually talk more about these reels, but this is definitely a trending sound that I took advantage of because trending sounds maximize your growth like crazy. So.
All the pretty girls walk like this. Pretty girls walk like this.
And the last one is a wellness center. They do vitamin infusions, boosters, they do Botox, they do a little bit of everything. She got into the company because her mom had actually been struggling through cancer, and she decided to find more out about vitamin infusions and started her company. And then this is one of her workers there.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I am the registered nurse at Elemental Wellness. I've been a nurse for 30 years, and once I saw Jessica opening up a wellness center, it was so interesting to me, and it was a great change in my career, and I absolutely love working here. So book an appointment with me at elementalinfusionnepa.com.
All right, so that's some trending reels that I did, and then now I'm going to get into graphics, and I'll explain the reels and graphics later in the presentation. But graphics, I'm not a big graphic fan. I'll talk more about it. As many, I have a ton on there, but I don't love graphics. I always say that graphics should not be overused because it should be useful information for people to get from it. People don't want to read anymore, unfortunately. If it doesn't get the attention, people are scrolling. So we want to really be able to track the analytics of why people are looking at it. We want useful information for them. So all of these are beneficial to people because, like as the first one, it's happy hour. That's a deal on drinks. The club members want to know, so they engage with it. Same thing as the second one, and a lot of them are like sales or information about the company. But a lot of people are over posting graphics anymore, and people are not engaging with them, unfortunately. And even when I'm posting them, I notice on my analytics, there's like 2 or 3 likes on a graphic just because people don't care about them. So I also mentioned that I, enjoy photography, so there's some pictures. And there's some more. And then I put a little fun fact in there. The third picture is my grandparents who just celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary. And then other work I got to do on the side is some wedding signage and flyers. So basically, even though I, work in social media marketing, I really expanded on what I've been doing. So now I'm helping them with, if they're going to a bridal show, they gave out this flyer so brides can contact them if they're interested in hiring them. And then those are just some wedding signs. So do's and don'ts. Like I mentioned, I don't love graphics, but if you are using them to grow your business, your brand, whatever you're looking to target, you definitely want to make them have a brand identity. In the pictures I showed of my graphics, you'll notice that they're all very different colors because I try to do it with whatever your logo is. I try to take the colors from that. So, for example, Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists, they're black, red, and white. I make all their graphics black, red, and white. And somehow, even if it's an Easter graphic, I make it black, red, and white, no matter what I do. Because the second you go on their page, you want that brand identity. You don't want them questioning your brand or what you're about, and you want them to recognize you. Second thing, use them, like I said, for useful information that benefits your clients. So you have to put yourself in the consumer mind. If you're scrolling on social media, do you take the time to read a long graphic? Chances are probably not, because even me, I don't read graphics because if it doesn't benefit me, why am I going to waste the time on it? And posting at relevant times. So like I said, put yourself in the consumer mind. Google will give you times that are beneficial for you to post at. I don't always think that they're right because when I've been tracking my analytics and you can see what people engage with at certain times, I normally consider when people are working, if people are taking a lunch break, when they start work. So normally for a lot of my companies, 7:30 at night is the best, especially now with this time change. People are in bed and they're on social media. If you're posting anywhere from that 5 to 7 hour, people are just getting home from work and they're not on social media. Same thing in the morning. People are getting ready for their work at 9 o'clock in the morning and they're not on social media at 8 o'clock in the morning. Normally you want to be posting at like 6:37. And then I also take advantage of lunch breaks, so like 12 or 1 o'clock. The don'ts of graphics, like I said, don't rely on them. Another thing is don't use default templates without customizing it. Like I said, the brand identity, you want to really change your graphics because you want them to be to your brand, but also there's a lot of default templates out there. And a lot of times if I follow certain companies and I'm not doing their social media and they're clearly posting their own thing, I can a lot of the times see one and I'll be able to recognize that it's from Canva, or I'll be able to recognize that another company just posted the same graphic and they just threw their logo on it. Another thing is stock photos. Stock photos could be used, but I don't recommend using them because I just think that they look like they were pulled from Google. It's not custom to your brand. You could use them for some things, but I would not depend on them. And then I would not post them just to have content. I see a lot of businesses where they're constantly just posting a graphic like Happy Halloween, Happy Veterans Day. No one cares. They're not going to engage with it. It does nothing for your brand. You want the information out there because when people are going to your pages, they want that information. They're going there for a reason. So Reels, like I mentioned, they're my favorite thing to go to right now. It's crazy how viral Reels can go. I just posted a video of my dog and it has almost 1,000 likes on it. So they're definitely crucial to use. Do for Reels, use hashtags and your location, especially on TikTok now. It really curates your, everyone has a For You page, it curates it. So if something's in Scranton, you want to put that it's in Scranton so it'll come up on Scranton locations feed. And hashtags, you want it to put into different categories. So if you're searching up, vitamins, that wellness center is going to come up on your For You page. Definitely use trending sounds. Like I mentioned, the Pretty Girls Walk Like This one. I used that and it did really well. I used the Kim Kardashian voice, and it had like, I think like 3,500 views, and the page only had 300 followers, so that was really important. Definitely use them while you can. And I always recommend using a background music if you have a reel. By default, there's always going to be background noise, so you want like some music to cover that up. Use the Captions app. You guys can download that if you are interested in growing your own brand. You do have to pay for it, but it automatically customizes the captions for you. So that way, when someone's speaking, like I would be right now if I was recorded, it would be, curating the words that I'm saying. That way, when people are sneaking their phones at work and not able to use the volume, they're reading the video. Select topics in Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if everyone has it yet. It's kind of depending on everyone's updates. You can now select topics for your reel. So, for instance, for the Wellness Center, I use skincare, nail care, and hair care because she has a vitamin bag that takes care of that. For the wheel company, I put automotive tech, cars, and I think it's like sport cars or something like that. I clicked them, and they have been actually doing a lot better, which is, cool to see that it's ending up on people's page who likes cars and whatnot. Another thing is use templates. A lot of templates now are trending, and it's super easy. You just put in the videos you have, and it'll automatically create it for you, and it's also a trending thing. Transitions, I think, are really cool to use. A lot of times I actually use my hand, so I literally will like go to my hand, and then I'll pick up on another item, so it looks like I started in one place and ended up in another. It's an easy little thing, and it's an easy way just to crop your video and make it look stand out compared to everyone else. Another thing is get B-roll for voiceover. So if you are doing a voiceover video, B-roll is basically, if I'm talking about something, I'm recording it. So for instance, if I said I was coming to TechBridge, I might pan to a video of the TechBridge sign. Don'ts for reels, don't depend on your phone microphone. Amazon has awesome microphones that you buy that connect to the Bluetooth. It always picks up my background noise, and it just doesn't sound as clear. So if you are interested in starting it, Amazon has ones for I think like $15 that you can buy, and it connects right into your phone. And the nice thing is phones do record in 4K now, which is awesome. Another thing is record horizontal. Reels are all horizontal. A lot of times I see people recording, or they're all vertical, I'm sorry. Don't record horizontal. Horizontal, it leaves that black border, and you don't want it because it just by default doesn't do well. You don't want to save it from TikTok with the watermark and then post it onto Instagram either, because Instagram and Facebook is owned by Meta. Meta tries to shut down TikTok. They don't want that TikTok watermark. Sometimes it'll do well, oftentimes it won't do well. So a way to avoid that is downloading your link and putting it into snaptic.app. It'll remove the watermark for you, and you can upload it right to your other platforms. And I would recommend don't use copyrighted music. Copyrighted music will get flagged, and you don't want that because it doesn't look good for your business, and your page can get shut down. So the nice thing is there's apps like Video Leap that are easily accessible to you from your phone that you could use there on copyrighted music, or you could use the ones that Facebook recommends to you, Instagram or TikTok. And then another thing is in-app edited videos are doing really well. So your TikToks, your Instagram, if you're editing your reels in there, they're by default just doing better. So if you could avoid editing out of the app, I would recommend it. Obviously, if we're trying to do some nice professional videos, don't do that. But if you could do a fun trending reel, edit it in the app. Hashtags. So hashtags are a little controversial. They used to benefit a lot. Now, I wouldn't say they're everything to depend on. You definitely want to use personalized hashtags to your brand. So, for example, alloy wheel repair specialist, we're hashtagging wheels, automotive, alloy wheel repair specialist, and then we're also hashtagging like Scranton, Dimick, the areas that they're located in. I recommend only hashtagging like 5 to 10 things because using like 30 hashtags really is not going to change anything. Like I said, relevant hashtags, so you could use the personalized ones, but you want to use bigger ones like wheels and automotive tech. And then you could save them in your notes app, so you could always just copy and paste them right over. That way you don't have to think of new ones every time because it's beneficial just to post the same ones. So that way if anyone's going to alloy wheel repair specialist Dimick, that's all that content's there. Don't over hashtag like I mentioned. Don't use the same ones that are as everyone else, such as viral, For You page, FYP, because everyone's doing it. It's not going to do anything for you. And don't depend on them for your views. Hashtags are not the go-to anymore, so I just wouldn't depend on them and think that's going to help you for everything. Okay. When it comes to photo and video, I always say take the pictures, doesn't matter, just take them. Show off your brand and team. Every time I post one of the staff members at a company, it just does better, because a lot of these are small businesses, so you have people supporting you that know you and they recognize you and they want to see that, opposed to your graphics. Use the auto feature on your iPhone. When you go to edit it, if you it'll auto do it for you with the filters, because a lot of times I know the older crowd sometimes is using the Instagram filters. Don't do that. It just doesn't make your photos look good. Use your phone camera. A lot of people think that you need a professional camera for everything. The iPhones have great quality cameras now, so you could really focus in on things and take advantage of it. And you could also crop your video length in your camera roll, so you don't need a big video editor on your computer to crop a video down. And take advantage of good lighting. Always look for a window and sun to get your lighting, because you don't want to use the flash if you could avoid it. Like mentioned before, don't use stock photos if you don't have to. Don't use Instagram filters, and don't over edit. People could see that. It's not worth it. I would recommend, if you're doing a fun, trending reel, you don't want a video clip to be over 5 seconds. People get bored, so they'll scroll away. So you want to, constantly be changing the video. Like I said, I'm not a fan of flash. Obviously, in darker situations, you need to use it. But if you could avoid it and take advantage of the lighting, that's your way to go. And you should take advantage of using your great quality photos. So a lot of times I might post the photos in a slide, and it's a slide is the carousel. So photo 5 might be featured on there, but then I could reuse it because people aren't paying attention because they're not sliding through all the time. So take advantage of the ones that really haven't been featured as much. Ad boosting. Take advantage of the feature. It's awesome that Instagram and Facebook offer that. And when you're using it, you want to target. You want to pick the target. So you could automatically let it pick it for you, but you could also select within 20 miles of Scranton area. You could select interested in basketball from ages 17 to 19. So that way, whoever's on Facebook searching the certain things, it'll come up on their thing and be sponsored. And I always recommend spend the money, because your radio, news ads, all that, it's super expensive, and you could throw $100 on an ad for probably like 1/10 of the price of what you pay in newspapers, radio, and it'll do just as well. In social media, everyone uses it. Don't let it target for you. Like I mentioned, it'll automatically target by default. It does it United States as a whole. So there was one time that a girl who I was working with, she had targeted it for United States as a whole, and we were trying to target Scranton, and it went up all the way to Syracuse. And someone had actually commented on the video saying that it was in Syracuse. Don't boost everything it recommends. Obviously, Facebook and Instagram, they want to make their money, so it'll say boost this. I would boost anything that's beneficial to your consumers. You don't need to boost a graphic that says Happy Halloween. And don't not get specific. Put as many things as you want into your targeted ads, because all it's going to do is benefit you guys, because it's going to appear on those people's pages. When it comes to posting, use analytics. If you see that a post is doing well, that you post it at 7:30 at night, post another post at 7:30 at night. Consider the posting time, like I had mentioned earlier. Fun captions, use emojis. I hate a basic caption that's long. I don't care enough to read it. And format it correctly. I always do a square post compared to a regular. You could do a regular post on Facebook, but whenever you go right onto an Instagram page, it's always that square thing. So if there's words cut off, people don't see it. And if your exciting tagline is cut off in it, you want it to be the first thing that someone sees. You don't want it cut off. So I always recommend that square post format. And pick a cover photo when you're posting a reel. You don't have to just use a photo that's in the reel. You could actually upload a photo so it looks, gives you an aesthetic on your Instagram timeline. Take advantage of engagement. So like I said, my dog the other day did really well on Instagram, so I continued to post after that because people were already on my page. They were already looking at her video. So I continued to post, and I posted a video of like my dog snoring the next day, and it got 300 likes. Post fun stuff, be relatable. It's easy, you could post whatever you want. As long as you're relatable, people want to relate to you. Don't overpost, you don't need to post 5 times a day. I recommend 3 to 4 times a week. Just don't overdo it. People are gonna unfollow you. You don't wanna lose those followers. Don't overthink your post. As long as you're posting, that's important. It keeps that engagement up for your page. And another thing is, if you're consistently adjusting the post after you post it, for some reason, Facebook and Instagram flag it, and it doesn't perform well, so make sure that you're really proofreading that caption before it goes up. Don't just post and not engage. So by engaging, I mean you should be liking other businesses' stuff because then it's just gonna bring that engagement to your page. Another thing is don't reveal private information. If you're doing social media for a client, I would not recommend that because a lot of people are posting like, hi, I'm Abigail Rhodes, I just said my full name. But if we're doing this for a company, we don't wanna post their full name because we don't wanna reveal their private information. I think that first name is good enough. And always don't think of yourself, put yourself in that consumer mind like I had mentioned, see what you would wanna see. Do you care about certain things that you're posting? If you don't care about it, why would the consumer? So on your profile, make sure you have an identifiable profile picture. So I see like sometimes like alloy wheel repair specialists, I don't want to post a wheel as a profile picture. I want their logo because I don't want people guessing what my page is. We want to just post the logo. Set your profile up as a creator if possible because then you could use those trending sounds. Businesses, for some reason, Facebook doesn't let you use them. You want a short bio. You don't want people reading too much into it because they're not going to read it, unfortunately. You want to attach your link directly onto your medias, and you want to have an aesthetic. So like I mentioned, that aesthetic can come from the brand identity with curating your colors. Don't post politics. You just don't want to do it. Don't post your personal profile onto your business page. So sometimes I see businesses, an owner will post on their personal Facebook and then the business page will share it. I wouldn't do that. You want it to come directly from the business page because you want them to message the business page. And that way it also increases your engagement. Don't ignore your direct messages. There's a requested folder and a lot of times they get missed because it doesn't flag you on it. And there's people messaging that are interested in your brand or an appointment, different questions about wheels. And if those are, not left answered, they might not call because some people don't care enough to look up the number. Don't save a highlight as a highlight. You can make cover photos for them now and you could curate them. So you might be like event, information, menu, different things. And don't forget to tag other accounts. If you tag them, then they're seeing it. That if you're say if I'm presenting with someone today and I take a picture with them, I'm going to tag them because I want them to see it so they share it on their page. So the most important do I have is to just prioritize social media. I know some people are nervous to just prioritize it and they think that posting is stupid, but at the end of the day, it's good just to have that engagement there to build a presence for your business. And a lot of people, they don't care to search up a website anymore. They care more about finding you on social media. So as long as your profile is there and you're trying, that's important. So I have a picture of my dogs, and I have a little video.
Words can't describe what I feel inside.
So that's them dressed up for Halloween. That's a video from their TikTok. I have their socials up there. But if you guys have any questions for me, I'll take them now.
I have a question. How do you go about finding clients? Do you continuously cold call, or do they reach out to you?
So when I first started my business, it was February 2022, and I did not get anyone. It was like really discouraging. I actually ended up working for another media company. And the day that I left the media company, I had 2 more clients. So I was lucky that I had Alloy. So it was fluke, kind of. I had, cold called a little bit, but then people now have just been recommending me back and forth. So I'd recommend, I did cold call. You have to be prepared to be discouraged, but it ended up working out. So a little mix of both. I think once you prove your work and, I even have I do an online portfolio like this and I send it over. And now that people see my work and the brands that I've worked with, like Roba Family Farms was one of them in Lakeland, people realize that, they considered hiring me, so why shouldn't they? Anything else?
What is your biggest problem with being in social media marketing?
Probably, I would say watching everything, because cancel culture is so big right now, and you have to really watch your wording, especially when, I'm dealing with the wellness center. I want to watch my wording on that because we're dealing with cancer patients, so I want to make sure that all of that is an educated answer. I had done a account that dealt with Botox, and there was a caption made, and I just didn't think it sounded right because it almost seemed like we were saying you needed the Botox where someone doesn't need Botox. So it said the wording of everything and kind of adapting to the changes as well.
What would you say is the window of like the most optimal frequency of posts?
I would honestly say it depends on what's going on. So, for instance, like that Halloween video that I posted one of the dog, and that did really well because everyone was posting about Halloween. But my go-to time for posting for all my businesses is literally 7:30 at night. But Friday nights I never post because people are always out doing things. So I try to really focus on when people are going to be home and just scrolling on social media.
Like amount of posts per like week or month?
Oh, okay. I do like 3 to 4. So you mean? Yeah, I do 3 to 4 for normally every business. I'd say even if people want to do 1 per day, but I don't like to overpost because then people, they unfollow. And even like, I had to post a lot of graphics for Elmhurst Country Club this week, and I didn't want to post them, but I had to do it. And we lost a couple followers just because people don't want to see graphics all the time.
What's the percentage of growth for companies that you work with, say, for 6 months or a year?
I don't know the exact percentage. For instance, Elmhurst Country Club, when I took them over in May, they were at 630 followers and they're at 800 followers. Yeah. So it's different for every business, I think. So.
Do you set goals?
Yeah, I think also with like Elmhurst, they wanted a lot of younger members in there. So that's why they started the social media up. So when I connected with them, I really wanted I wanted a good amount of followers. I kind of wanted to get to 1,000 by next year, which will be May when I started with them, just because, the younger clientele that we're targeting is on social media. So, yeah. But I also really try to I really like to look at the shares, which you could see that on TikTok. You could see the shares because then I know that people are recommending it to other people. You're welcome. Anything else? Nothing?
Thank you.
Oh.
Everybody give it up
Thanks.
one last time for Abby.
Evolution of the algorithms, right? You always hear people talking about, well, Facebook changed or TikTok or Instagram changed their algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep up with all of that?
I'd honestly say, I think I'm on it so much that it doesn't affect me as bad, but TikTok's your go-to for everything now. Like you could learn everything from TikTok. You search it on there and you find it out. So if you need some information about a new change, like even like sometimes they'll move, like on some of my profiles, I have to go looking to share onto the story where other profiles I don't know why Instagram has done that. So I go looking for it, but TikTok is also helpful for any sudden changes. Good.
All right, everybody give it up one last time for Abby Rhodes.